medicinal child porn. I can get behind it.
That is the
Happy birthday, Singapore!
Oh my god. Do you hate living in Singapore? This is your daily Ketchup.
Boom.
Okay, so there was a viral TikTok recently. An American
How viral?
American TikToker. I was gonna say American person. But yeah, she's based in Singapore and she basically posted a video talking about 10 reasons why Singapore is the worst country to live in.
Then leave lah.
Wait, this comment is you, is it? So
really?
There are like split reactions. One is like, wow, this is the most like honest and true criticisms of Singapore that I've seen. And then the other half is like, hey, this is 10 reasons for you to leave.
Or she's just trying to go viral and she needed something controversial.
But what she actually also did is post the 10 reasons why Singapore is the best country to live in. And that one didn't go viral. So is it really her fault?
Yeah. It's algorithm. Actually, she did the other one first. And I actually saw it. Yeah, then after that she said, and even in her second video, she said, I already did what I like. So now I'm like, y'all ask me what I don't like.
No, I only hear what I want.
It was requested, you know what I mean? Then she kena kat nanti like that.
Yeah.
But to your first statement though, not happy leave, right? I mean, could be a joke. I mean, it's probably a joke.
It was a joke.
I could not.
As someone that's lived overseas, is this a prevalent, like a first response or not? Whenever you complain about someone's country.
I think it depends on the context, right? Because if someone's asking you what do you like and not like about the country, if you've lived there, then I guess you have that expertise, lor. But like, if it's unsolicited, then it's like, why are you doing this?
No, I feel like this is the first response to anyone saying that they don't like anything. Like even on any like YouTube video or what, right? When you criticize someone's video, then people just say, oh, don't
do that.
Don't watch ah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think when I didn't know that she did a reason why she liked it or why she likes Singapore. It just came across as you live here, but then now you're complaining online, like why? But now I realize that there's all these different factors. So okay lah, it makes sense lah.
Based on the context of her posting, if I'm not wrong, might be totally wrong. She moved here because of her partner. I think the partner come and work. That's why one of the points she made is about not being able to find a job. Not so easy to find a job.
Hard to work legally.
I see.
Yeah, she cannot.
Because she moved here as a spouse, then after that, then difficult to find.
She has no work visa.
So maybe what might help is what are some of the things that she said.
Okay, so number one is the most obvious. Singapore is hot and humid. Yeah, that one like how everyone agree that. Number two, Singapore is expensive.
So the Singapore one is hot, right? It's really, everybody agree with you. Like there are tons of street interviews in Singapore. People ask Singaporeans what you hate about Singapore, right? Everybody say weather first one.
No, but recently, the past week is crazy. You know, somebody posted a screenshot and put on Reddit, right? The temperature, like it says, feels like 40 degrees.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Do you think like it actually affects your lives? Do you think the weather actually affects the way you live in a negative way?
Like your mood or like a...
No, I just on the aircon.
Yeah. Because like, but me personally, right, the weather alone, right, affects the way I dress. It affects the way the activities I choose to partake in.
Yeah.
And if the weather was just slightly different, I would live life so much more wholesomely.
We would try.
I would do so much more.
No, like what? Like what you say? Like
jogging.
I will go out more.
No. So recently I've been binging on like ASMR camping videos, right? And these people just
The heck?
like camping in the rain kind with their like dog all, right? And I just want, wow, this is so interesting. Right? But then if I go and try it in Singapore, I'm going to be sweating buckets. Whereas this guy...
mosquito destroy you.
Yeah, whereas this guy is in his tent, right, with 2 layers of blanket, you know, and he's like, oh, so cozy. I'm like...
Hey, Allison.
What?
You did something to your teeth,
Yeah, I did Zenyum.
Zenyum? That's our sponsors for today.
What?
So, Zenyum is a startup founded in Singapore that provides effective, fast-free, affordable, dentist-approved teeth straightening solutions.
But do you know why is it called Zenyum?
Why?
It's because it's really close for the Malay word for smile, Zenyum.
Yeah, so if you have an overbite, underbite, crowding or gaps, right, Zenyum is a solution for you. And their prices start from as low as 2,590. Even if you're not sure what is wrong with your teeth, yikes, don't worry, Zenyum has experts that can help advise you. So take their free online assessment down below. It only takes you 3 minutes, link in description.
What are you waiting for?
Yeah,
Visible changes in as soon as 2 months. Get your dream smile before Christmas.
Merry Christmas! Thank you, Zenyum. Back to our episode.
I'm gonna be taking off layers.
Yeah, that thing is
So-
like camping in the rain.
Yeah.
It's not rain. It's just slightly moist.
It's just it's really it's actually
Damn
it's damn
camping.
shiok.
Okay lah, but no, I also freaking love that and I really want to do that, right? But then sometimes I see, right, is that they go all the way out there with their jeep alone, right?
Yeah.
Then they build up the tent, then they do until they got like a kitchen net area, they got their bed, they got the side table, they got study area, they got laptop, they got lamp. They basically recreated their living room in the wild for them to cook a simple meal or whatever.
No, but that's the show part. That's the show part. I understand why.
No, I know. But
Yeah.
another thing is also like too many rules is another point that she brought up, which is also again like I want to try all this stuff, right?
Number 3, strict
Cannot start-
governance.
Cannot start fire anywhere, cannot do this, cannot do that. Also like, wow, sometimes damn
Cannot
sian.
start fire anywhere sounds like a good rule
To
though.
be fair, it actually
Like
is.
sometimes I just want to like
behind that.
like you hike, you go reservoir. Right? Oh, very nice, right? Cannot jump into the water. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
There are some things you can do though. So like for example, like Lazarus Island, you can't just simply build camp, right? But you can. It's very easy to just apply a permit to stay overnight and build camp and start fire.
yeah lah, at Lazarus lah.
Or East Coast Park, for example.
Yeah, I need to apply all that thing. Like maybe I want to try how to start a fire first. Then later if I cannot, then I go the way there. Then I buang there. I stuck on an island there.
I always thought my dream, right, is to like go and book one tent, like go and book a campsite, then you go and pitch your tent. Because like you like the idea of that.
But real pitching lah, not the decathlon throw then it.
No, even if true,
Niche.
it's a matter of staying the night there and then cooking your mess tin.
Yeah.
Then like putting out your fire before you sleep, that kind of
So
shit.
army,
right? But then you just go to aircon decathlon, okay? You go inside a small tent, then you just zip up. You see inside for 5 minutes, hot already. It's actually not a good idea. Then you imagine, right? You think you very romantically, you bring your partner. Then it brings the temperature of the tent
Higher.
higher.
Nice.
It's damn uncomfortable actually.
Yeah, so number 3 is basically strict governance, which links to number 4, which is people don't think out of the box. And I think like this is the most interesting one that she brought up lah. There's actually research that's showing that Singaporeans actually underperform when it comes to creative industry exports. Yeah, and yeah, what do y'all think? Is it true? Are Singaporeans just not creative?
You know what I feel? I feel like creativity comes from struggle. Hey.
Let me write it down. You repeat slower. Okay, I have a great idea at this point of the episode, guys. If you would like to support us, like, share, and subscribe. Back to the episode. More juicy bits at the end, guys. Stay tuned.
Very juicy.
Why would you know that?
Bits.
Do you
Because
come from the
we're-
future?
Stay tuned to find out.
No, because like okay, I stole that from a few people that has said it to me across my life, right? That creativity comes from struggle, and then the most recent person that reminded me of that was Jahan Low. So like I recently interviewed him or something, and he's like a very famous like Singapore artist, right? And he said that like you can't be an artist if you haven't struggled, and I feel like Singaporeans generally haven't struggled.
Comedians also.
That's right. It's hard to be funny if you don't have a certain struggle. So like when you look at like say Asian cinema, for example, Hong Kong cinema is known throughout the world, and I feel like there is a struggle there in like a lot of their art. Whereas like Singapore, how come Singapore never like get to that pinnacle, right? And I feel like generally 80% of Singaporeans comfortable.
So by that logic, would our parents have been a lot more creative?
Perhaps, but they never had the outlet nor the need
Like
to.
their version of Jack Neo and our version of Jack Neo not the same.
Okay.
You're struggling. Like you don't see Switzerland movies.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or Luxembourg or Dubai.
Yeah.
But maybe we're just not worldly enough.
Yeah,
not
people
English,
come
then
here
don't
and say
watch
Singapore
already.
is so international. I'm like, I feel like we don't know anything.
Yeah, it keeps to me. It always goes back to the fact that we lack culture because we are so young as a country.
Once again, then whenever you say that, it annoys me again.
Okay, good.
What is
Lack culture.
What is culture? Must it be in the form of art?
Yeah.
Must it be graffiti?
Our best movie is what? Army.
But is that culture?
No, our best movie is the Pao Pa Hai
Or like what about a domestic helper? Like
But isn't that our culture?
Apprentice.
Our culture is a coddled generation. Or our culture is that we are made of conscripts. That's interesting. Like, yo, hey, I want to say I went to watch NDP preview show, and this year, right, the NDP, you know, the military showcase usually is just some hypothetical.
terrorist attack.
Then they just go right. But this year I think they try or they just really showcase the equipment. They just divers jump into the sea then like that. But this year's NDP has a storyline that bridges everything together. And because this year they also celebrate a milestone for Singapore's conscription.
Oh, NS55.
Yeah, and so they started that whole story
For the
from how
voucher.
this guy is just at home with his wife, and then it began, and then he's like an NS commander, and then he plans the whole thing, right? It's a weird plug for NDP. It's quite cool. They don't just roll the tanks out this year.
Right.
They roll the tanks out with the whole sound effect, and it's pretty solid, right? And then they turn the mount, because you never really see this military equipment being used, man. Then I'm from the Navy, right? Then the ship is just a ship, man, I'm saying. So like when the rocket launcher thing like go out, then I'm like, oh my god, I was so surprised it could move. You know what I mean? Because it's so big.
Yeah.
But then they point it out to the sea, right? Then this thing fires a blank, like boom. Then the pyrotechnics and the sea head, bam, they both fire there.
Right.
And they do that for every single thing that comes out. So it feels damn fun.
Fun fact, this year's NDP is directed by Adrian Pang.
Oh.
That's why,
Directed by-
yeah. The
Oh.
levels are just...
Right.
So
Solid. This year is solid.
So is it like very musical-esque?
No.
But got like-
there is a weird diggly musical inside. That's the weakness in the whole component.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, I mean, I really enjoyed it, to be very honest. And usually I only like the military showcase. But then after that, when they go into, you just take the ribbon and you run out, I'll be bored already. It's like, it's so abstract, and then it's like, okay lah, raise money lah, you know? But
This represents the waves of
Yeah,
struggles
but-
that the Singaporeans had to go
Then they
through.
make you do the Kallang wave.
and it's so abstract and so what you ingrained in you in primary school, you feel like I don't need a 400-man dance for that.
Yeah.
But I think this year, because like the pain of COVID feels very fresh. And I think many people forget about this because we don't go to NDP parades as often anymore.
Yeah.
But the thing is that this is Singapore's first full parade since COVID began.
Right. So like
Yeah.
2 years to, yeah.
Yeah, and so the COVID, how we survived COVID and fought COVID as a nation has never really been shown on a parade scale before. Yeah, and so it feels a bit drawn out and tiresome, but no.
Oh my god, are they all wearing masks? All the performers?
No.
Oh,
Yeah, no, they're
Wow,
performers.
Even the
nice,
spectators don't need to wear masks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Our spectator don't need to wear masks.
Because outdoor.
Outdoor.
But they're totally like side by side and spitting at each other.
Then after NDP, the COVID spikes.
It's correct. It's correct. Some people wear lah.
Right.
Ah.
Yeah. And Joakim also mentioned that this is the last NDP on a floating platform. So if you guys are going for the main show,
Yeah.
Then after that is where?
congrats. No
The
idea.
Padang. lor.
Better, faster carousel, buy tickets.
I would think National Stadium lah.
Oh.
I like to watch the performances. Then you see like one kid run the wrong direction, then the straggler then to join back with the main. Or you see whose equipment buang, then fuck out halfway.
No, the short one is always like on camera, they never plan, like the guy that hold the middle finger. Then like there's always
Yeah,
like, that
No,
one
but how
boy.
do you expect that? You
Actually,
cannot.
Yeah.
Actually, the propensity of that happening is so high, I realize. Because
Yeah.
there are shows, right, that's just catered for primary 5 kids. So like 80% of the stadium is primary 5 kids. And then the camera always go back to the same few people because presumably that's where the cameras were mounted, ma. Yeah. So like when they look at the kids, right, then everybody will be like, because you're watching straight, right? Then the camera angle, right, then you know, then
Yeah.
then everybody is doing it every second on the whole parade. So like that guy that did this, right, and it took us so many years for one kid to do this. I think we did great. I feel like
No, it's so sick.
Yeah.
Because everyone always has that,
Evolution.
like,
I would think it's the first thing that will happen. Like, because Pat was planning the camera on us, what we're gonna do. Like, and then this is a go-to, you know what I'm saying? This culture.
You know what helped to improve the views for the NDP?
Everyone do this.
Flasher.
So
Oh.
close.
Oh.
So right, when you watch sporting events, live sporting events, you go to always the camera cut to the crowd, right? They always go and find chill girl.
Yeah.
Always find chill girl, then like no matter how uncomfortable they are, right, the camera will just go like when I watch like gaming events, it's all a sea of men. So they just find those few girls there. Then the camera keep cutting
All
every
three
time
of
keep
them.
cutting back to them. Yeah.
Yeah.
We just need to find those few in the NDP crowd, right? Then the camera just
Or they should just plant.
yeah.
I think creativity is overrated, honestly. Like, what's so great about it?
I think there's a lot of ways of being creative, right? I think there are those that can really imagine something from scratch and then create it out of nothing, right? I mean, then there's some people that need sandbox. And then when there's a sandbox, then they're creative.
So do you think you're creative?
Um,
Yeah, okay.
no. Relative to a lot of people.
Have
I
you
don't
been
know.
told you are creative?
Yes.
And you
Anyone
disagree?
that automatically hear about my job just goes, oh, you're so creative. And then I'm like, cool.
So you also don't think you're creative?
I
As
think
a
I
content
need
strategist in creative media.
not creative strategies, alright?
I'm very good at imitation and improving of imitation. I think I need references before I can.
That's China's entire business model.
China.
Do you think you are creative? As the
I
head
think
of
when I-
content strategy.
I think when I first entered the industry and this line of work, right, I was like, wow, how to be creative, right? Then you start to try and bounce off ideas. And then at the end of the day, it's always like, like in film studies, there's this concept of like the postmodern content creation, and it's about there's no such thing as originality. Everything already exists, and everything that's built is just creativity upon creativity by combining ideas. So that ended up paving the way for what I think is the way I did lah. But even then, right, I feel like and I a lot of times I sometimes like lose myself in when I'm trying to come up with ideas and try to be creative, right? Like people think that you just like what you said lah. It's just some crazy idea just come into your head and then you just go and like make it happen, right? Yeah. But I have another friend who is very structured and systematic, and he told me like there are formulas to creativity, especially now with all of the creativity that you see, right, is on the platforms that exist, right, like YouTube and TikTok and whatever, and they're all measurable. And then there are metrics that start to become developed, and then there's ways to basically hack these platforms to become like viral, and then virality becomes the measure of success, and what is truly creative or not. So then he started to show me how you can reverse engineer and use a more structured approach to come up with creative ideas. Yeah. So actually, the more structured you are with the process of creating and ideating, the better you will actually be at being creative. Right. Yeah. So it's actually the opposite of what people believe is like, creativity means you just have to go crazy.
Yeah. I had a takeaway. But it's gonna be repetitive to you because I feel like in every brainstorm, if it's my first brainstorm, I would have told you this thing that I learned, right? Which is, I remember I was an intern in an events company. It's called a Meeting Lab, by the way, shoutouts. And then it was a medical conference, and they flew in this very big time keynote speaker. And because I was part of the events company, I knew how much it cost back then, and I knew it was like 20-30K for 1 hour or maybe 30 minutes of just him talking. And it's a medical conference, but it's geared towards sales. And this guy is supposed to be some plenary level speaker type about creativity. And I remember he was late, and he only came like 15 minutes before his call time. But he didn't panic because he called and said he's on his way, right? And when he started the whole thing about creativity, he spent the first, I don't know if I'm exaggerating, first 50% of his entire speaking slot, right, talking about why he's late and how his journey here to Singapore was very creative in itself. Because this one cancel, that one cancel, he take train, and all that stuff, right? And I was a bit annoyed because like, I'm sure you prepared a f***ing script when you come here, and it's not 50% talk about how you arrive here. But he ad-lib here, right? And then he dropped this wisdom, which I still share to this day, right? Which is a new creative idea is a combination of two known ideas, right? This is where I got it from, right? And then he goes on to explain we look at, for example, a car is like wheels and a chair, for example, or engine and a chair, and a phone is a calculator. It's like a smartphone is a telephone and a computer, that kind of stuff. And then I realized there is just no way to simply talk about creativity. And what he's actually talking about is confidence to create.
Right.
Yeah. Because just now when you talk about, is virality a metric for success? Yes. Is it a metric for creativity? No lah. Because we look at the current dominant YouTube channels in Singapore. It's not to say they are not creative, but it does not reward their creativity. When they go creative, the views drop. Yeah. And it's about the confidence to do and confidence to try. And I feel like in a country like Singapore, it's too cutthroat to fail.
Yeah.
And that's why it kind of feels like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Actually, when you bring this up, right, I think there was something that I came across before about how structures in an organization sometimes hinder creativity. And when you're trying to hire a creative, but then you have all these rules and systems that you still need to follow, then you kind of restrict them, and it's counterintuitive to why you even hire a creative in the first place. And a creative is meant to kind of be the explorer, the pioneer in terms of where you're going to go. But then you have systems in place in your organization to kind of follow and support that those adventures, right? And those escapades. But then in my head, I also...
escapades.
Okay, you
definition. No, but so the struggle that I find is that, like what you're mentioning also, is that in Singapore, I think one of the greatest things that hinder people from daring, right, is that everybody needs like proof of concept already. And so we keep falling back to things that we already like if you say I want to pitch an idea to you, right, for a new show or a new channel, right, like it's so difficult to justify like
why
this idea that you've really never heard of before or seen of before. Like, I tell you, like, we are going to film ants. And it's going to work.
Yeah.
I love ants.
What about ants?
That would have got
just an ant.
reality show.
When a guy pictures like, I'm gonna sit in front of a camera and do nothing.
Or like count to 1 million, yeah.
Like why say yes to that, right?
Yeah.
But then these are the things that blow up and go crazy and sometimes go viral. But you don't know until you try. But then it's so difficult to do it in our context. And like you mentioned.
But within our company, the end game is always, the end of that conversation is always
monetize
but
it.
try.
Oh, okay.
So what is that?
Because okay,
roadblock?
so I think right, the biggest issue is that at the end of the day, there needs to be monetization in some form, because it's a business, right?
Yeah.
So how do I explain that eventually we can monetize doing nothing? You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Product
think
placement.
that exactly. But then that only comes when the concept is successful already.
Right.
Yeah. So like there's that constant battle.
Yeah.
And I don't know how to.
But is it
come to
not true
terms
that, like, if say I let someone go and do whatever they want versus I tell someone that you can, as in, these are your perimeters, let's see what you can come up with. Is it not more creative of a person, right, to then be able to, no matter whatever limit you give them, right, they can give you something that is completely new to you. You know what I mean? Versus if you had no bounds, like, I would say one is actually showcases creativity better than the other.
Yeah, I think if we take this to a different
better.
context, right? Because I think for us, it's very much related to like the media industry, which I don't know how many people who watch can actually relate to. But I think if you take this,
we are also a creative agency, by the way, if you don't know. Anyway.
yeah, but if you
Like
take
ourselves.
this to like the corporate world, for example, right, on a day-to-day basis, there's always problems that need to be solved, and creativity comes in the form of how do you actually solve that problem, which goes back to be able to think outside the box, lah. And I feel like whenever a problem arises, I think if people are way too reliant on processes, and say, oh no, this is the way how it needs to be done, and sometimes issues still occur, then there is maybe a lack of creativity to say, actually, let's take a step back and how can we actually solve this in a different light? And I feel like there is some evidence of that happening here, I guess, because there is that over-reliance on structure and processes.
But if everybody is thinking outside of the box, then the outside of the box is the inside of the box.
Isn't that
It's inside of a bigger
I saw a
box.
TikTok like this.
No, it's a Bill Burr quote.
Is it?
It's a recent joke that I think you.
And so by being inside the box, you're actually outside the box. That was the second half of the TikTok.
Right.
No,
Which is quite interesting. Actually, we do see that coming around now. We look at what are the new ads now, right? The new ads that suddenly people will talk about would be, they are trying to go back to live selling. Which is so inside the box that it's so fresh now. You know, or like Ryan Reynolds breaks the fourth wall and say like, buy this. You know?
like straight up, right?
Straight up, and he's like, what? It's so in the middle of the f***ing box, right? But we look at it, it's like, wow, that's out. Where no one even knows where is the box there.
So maybe it's not actually a box, it's a donut, where the hole in the middle is still outside the donut.
No, it's okay. Like it's
give you a yeah, it's pretty solid though. Not if you get a yeah or he gets kind of level of content.
I love donuts. Yeah. Okay, but anyway, no, like really.
Yeah, it's so.
I especially love the
But not
neighborhood
all.
neighborhood bakery donuts, the 50 cent now maybe $1 already or 1.20, right? Those kind, right?
Oh, I don't
I
like
prefer the donut middle.
The
like
donut hole. Yeah,
they-
it's very funny
they
because they
cut
call it the
out the
donut
hole.
hole,
Yeah.
but it's not the hole.
Because
The
it's now
hole is in the donut. Right?
Yup, okay, so then
Not a very creative name for that product.
I'm wondering if it kind of links back to her point 3, which is like strict governance. Like, do you think how strict Singapore has been has kind of stifled everybody's like creativity? Like in the sense that you go through school, right, then everyone brainwash come out with the same product, right? Like, is that what is causing this lack of creativity? Though I still think creativity is overrated. Hard work is the way to go.
Yeah, that's the thing though. Like, have we established that creativity is a good thing though? And I mean, I guess we can agree that it probably is lah.
No,
Yeah, so it's not lah.
it's
So
not
we
a
haven't
priority.
established that.
It's not a priority for the country.
But if we don't come up with creative solutions, then how do we like? We don't have a USP that like.
No, I feel
other
like Singapore
countries
does come out with a lot of very creative solutions, but they are very pragmatic.
Yeah.
Maybe not the best songs or the best films. Yeah, but they're all very, very pragmatic. Like the folks at NUS are trialing a cure for cancer. Like what? You need some form of creativity, because no one knows what the is happening with cancer.
Yeah.
No, like
Yeah.
similar to what he was talking about, right? Problems that still exist and occur, they are problems that haven't have a definitive solution yet. And so therefore creativity still is required.
Some form of high risk, high reward. I feel like in the US we look at culture, right? Then like we look at black neighborhoods where everybody wants to grow up and be a rapper. And then we have all the black rapper role models.
What
that
a
saying,
stereotype.
No one can be. No, it is real, right? And the black rappers go back to their community and say, stop trying to be a rapper. Like, there can, it's not a plausible goal in that sense.
Only the 1%, the 1%.
However, for them, everybody's neighborhood got one
rapper.
got one rapper that become a millionaire. So I get it though. But like within Singapore's film and art industry, like it's such a high risk to put yourself out there on something like that. But then you see that the guy that you're trying to be also not say make it.
I think if you look at creativity on an innovative level, right, I think it's not necessary for us to all be creative. I think you just need someone somewhere to be creative. So like you take for example US and China, right, or US and Korea. US is probably deemed as more creative because they come out with way more products. Apple came out with the iPhone, then Samsung all copy. But then because Samsung can then copy, then now there's competition. Everyone is competitive towards that. I think it's just about making sure that someone somewhere is creative. Everyone else has the resources to copy, and then now we create healthy competition. And
But
then
fun fact
that's
though,
fine.
Nokia and Microsoft, if I'm not wrong, came out with smartphones first. And BlackBerry also.
They were ahead of their time.
Yeah, right here at their time.
iPhone is like 5 years behind on wireless charging also.
Yeah. Or like if you look at Apple, right? Like they are known as one of the most creative companies, but they also stole a lot of like or copied a lot of technology. Like the whole GUI system with your mouse was taken from Xerox, for example.
Or
And
Creative. Singapore is a company called Creative.
That's true.
Oh, the Zen.
Yeah, the audio company. Yeah.
And the touch.
The Chinese dictionary.
Do you know like the generation early iPods?
Yeah.
With the
They were the ones who did it
was
for
Singapore technology.
Yeah. Even the thumb drive is invented by Singapore.
Pen
No.
drive. It used to be called pen drive. Yeah.
It's a Singapore tech.
Yeah.
That was Malaysian, but we'll go
Probably
with
a
Singapore.
Malaysian that did it in Singapore though. That's like
That's the most likely.
That's on knowing nothing, right?
I'll take it.
Yeah.
So then to the point of like just now she was talking about hard work trumps creativity, right? How I feel like everybody, right, has come up with the same ideas before, right? But it's just a matter of who acts upon it, right? How much do you think that is?
Just now he also say what? Like
Yeah.
it's not about just create, it's about like those
It's-
who
it's
dare to go and
timing.
try to create it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you say that it's more that than the idea itself?
Ooh.
That means the idea can be maybe
No, your
like a
idea
half
can be shit. If you really know how to sell it, right, you can fly.
Example?
Dogecoin.
I'm going to that.
Tesla. Kidding.
Which is why it's very important to have a visionary CEO and a very hardworking COO to pull it off.
Cool.
Which is what Tim Cook really is. A really good COO.
But now he's
CEO.
Then how?
Yeah. No, but he was the reason why Apple was so efficient with like all their factories. He was the one that wanted to go out of China, get Foxconn to become super efficient with like cost
Right.
and supply chain. That was his expertise
right.
to pull that off.
Do you think that having the word creative in a job title is fucking annoying?
Well, you just bash an entire department.
No, because like
For yourself or to meet someone with that?
no lah, just in general, like why have that title? Because if you really think about the roles, right?
Everybody has to be creative.
Yeah.
No, but what
Bro,
else
job
can you
titles
describe?
in general are trash.
Yeah,
like, look
I
at
agree.
us. I always thought like executive sound like a bigger word than manager, but
the
then
most junior.
yeah, it's the most junior.
No, then when you start at the bottom and below executive, right? You sometimes they call it associate.
Yeah.
But then when you go right to the top, right? Associate again.
I used to have my ex-colleague, right? When she joined this company, then they wanted to make everyone sound more important. So she was an executive intern. It's just completely fluff. As in, so job titles in general just don't make sense.
Yeah.
Actually-
No, but with that said though, like there are certain things that probably need creatives to define your role, like lead creative in case like you're in
Creative
the,
director lah.
yeah, like creative director
Yeah.
in the media industry.
Have you all seen the meme where he's talking about if you cannot describe your job in 3 words, right? Your job is bullshit, man.
Our job is bullshit.
It's like a few people like they like copywriter or like what marketing lead generation or something
Your
like that.
company or your job?
Your job.
The
Your job role. Yeah, then after
Okay.
you go down to the last guy, then I catch fish. Then he goes, he's the only guy that legit job. Yeah. Anyway, number 5.
Yes,
You still have to make bait, what?
Okay, yeah. So number 5, she talks about how
better.
it is Singapore is too small and crowded. To which our producer has put here, our minister Josephine Teo said Singaporeans don't need much space. Okay,
No comment.
moving on. Number 6 is that there is no fresh produce. So I guess she's American, they like organic food. Yeah.
This
It
one is-
depends where you go
this-
though.
No, but this is I don't know. Like I feel like it's quite true when you go overseas and eat, right? Even the raw ingredients also they taste completely different.
Really?
Yeah.
But they really love like the whole farm to table concept.
That brings back my conversation about soil.
oh yeah.
About soil. One of the other things, Sadhguru said. suddenly his name came back. I couldn't remember his name that day.
The money well spent by this company. You really take away a lot.
Yeah, no, I don't even know what they're trying to promote. He wasn't saying anything. Then one of the things he said, right, is that the humankind took a leap forward with population explosion, and population explosion only happened in the agricultural revolution, right, where food are no longer organic, because it was then that we had pesticides, no matter the grade, how good, how bad, how jalat, right, and GMOs that make things just grow faster, fatter, all year round,
yep.
right? And he said that the world today, right, seemed to glorify organic food. And organic food is really just food. And the world cannot actually go back to organic food. It's not possible to sustain life on Earth. And if we go back to organic food, only 30, I think the number was 30%. So only 30% of the Earth will be fed.
Right.
Yeah, so it's not possible to go back to organic.
So actually our population size right now is GMO fueled.
But then how overpopulated are we to begin with? Like maybe 30% is the ideal amount of human beings that should exist on this earth. Right?
Yeah, so if we look at the before agricultural revolution, then perhaps if you look at that number of global population, right, that probably is our number.
So we actually should go back, let everyone die of starvation.
Yeah, but then you will go
or just slowly die out lah.
And I really think everybody kind of knows that. It's just that maybe 6-7 generations will live through an entire decline in their economy.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But this is what Thanos was trying to do.
But so that the rest can continue living lah.
And so that we have more
If
resources.
not, we just correct. If not,
So
then
what
dry out.
we are doing now is trying to find the next agricultural revolution and find our planet. As opposed to sacrifice 6 generations in a depression. Which you can imagine if elections are 4-year terms.
Who is thinking about these things though? It's not the government, right?
It's Elon Musk.
It's Elon Musk. Elon Musk and Lee Kuan Yew, but Lee Kuan Yew left.
It cannot be the public sector because they are elected. They cannot say, hey, we're going to starve you guys, by the way.
Yeah, so number 7 is every day is bad hair day because of the weather. Number 8 is that she's far from home, which that's her problem because she chose to move here. Okay, sorry, but number 9 is the most interesting one. Snakes.
What?
Have you seen a snake in Singapore? I mean, I read up about it and that's why people very tulan. I've never actually seen it.
So basically, she said that she saw a snake like 4 out of a tree and she's like super scared of it.
So lucky.
She will not ever dare to go to Australia.
Yeah.
The scariest wild creature I have encountered is those monitor
lizard.
Monitor lizard.
We say Komodo.
No, Komodo is the big boys.
Yeah.
That one cannot.
Okay, monitor lizard.
That one see run.
My scariest was monkeys. Cause my friend told me, hey, to shoot them away, you should hiss at them. It does the opposite effect. So I went and they started chasing after me. So I ran like an entire
Hiss at you. Were we together at MacRitchie?
It's Marichi. It's all Marichi. That gang of their family, right?
Yeah. There's this long bridge, and he was just
the
sitting on the
zigzag one,
rope.
right?
No, it's a straight one. I think.
Then
He was just sitting on the rope. Then because it's very narrow, so if you want to go past, right, you'll be within arm length of him. Yeah, and he's just hissing at me. I think because I look like monkey, right? Then he's like, "What? Are you threatening the alpha position, right?" Then like everybody walk nothing. Then I walk like, then
you slap him off the bridge. Slap him into the water.
One of the things they say is don't look at it in the eye. It's like you're challenging him, right? So I went back view, right, and they took a video, right. He went and I felt it lah. He just went and
quite land.
Yeah.
He does bring that bum shoulder. No, the same troop of monkeys. Troop, right?
Yeah.
Hey, look at you.
Guys, I read dictionary. So the
Collective nouns.
The same group, I go and take pictures at Marichi. Then I found a baby monkey by himself sitting on the ledge. So I was like, wow, let me go and take a photo. I'm damn excited.
No.
So I keep taking, I keep going closer. You keep pushing yourself, right? Push until I'm right in front of the motherfucker, Then suddenly, right, my friend, oi! Then I turn, right, the mother chiong at me from the other side. I said, wow, then I faster jump out of the way.
Right, but that's on you lah. That's on you lah.
It's worse.
I want to say the St. John's Island, they're monkey friendly.
Why do we talk as though there's only one monkey
The
around?
monkeys there are friendly. They are not like the Marichi assholes.
No, but the Marichi one generally okay. Like I walk past them a lot of times.
Right.
Yeah, even on the bridge, like because they will walk on the hand railing.
Yeah.
Then you just walk past them, they chill.
Yeah.
They swing here, swing there.
Otters in general though are assholes. They just bite
I
the fish.
haven't seen the otters close up the Singapore otters.
I also never-
I saw them
one
far lah.
before when they were crossing Otter Road. No, but the stories are like they go into koi ponds and they just bite out the heads.
But they gotta eat what? That's what they eat what.
Don't leave a mess. Finish the whole fish.
Is there a country that y'all would consider living till you're dead? Like not when you retire, not when you save up a bunch of money, go there and spend. Okay?
Right now.
Like right now. Go there, find job. You have to think through your
Find job or is there's a
But-
job
but
already
you as a-
available and then I go there. Must go and
Yes,
find-
yeah.
Thinking about job security.
as a but you go there as a citizen, so you get citizen benefits. So if they got free healthcare, you got free healththare.
But is racism a thing?
No,
So
you
think
you
here-
are you.
So
yeah.
it could be a thing depending on the
You are you. You are not smarter, dumber, white, black, no.
I am me.
Is there a place? Like you think about how if you
Japan.
like you might think about
Canada.
Bali for example, right? Then if let's say you got operation, then you go to that hospital lah where you live lah. You're not gonna go
Yeah lah, yeah lah.
Jakarta for it, because you're in Bali ma.
Canada, all the healthcare also good, education like good also. And then got snow and mountains.
And YouTubers seem to do very well in Canada. also.
Really?
Yeah. Like a lot of the YouTubers I watch, I always end up, oh my god, they're from Canada. Oh shit, they're from
Yeah, cause once they say a boat.
Yeah. They
Like-
oh,
Canadian, this guy YouTuber.
like the Peter McKinnon, then Matthew Hapoya, then after that Matthew Hapoya's brother also, like all.
Yes,
Daniel
because they are
Schaffer.
brothers. Surprise.
But they're all like from, they're from Scandinavia, and then they moved to Canada.
Yeah, I want to go to a more laid back, chill country.
Do you think
Malaysia?
you will chill with the population?
I don't mind chilling alone. Or like
No,
like,
yeah. But do you think, like, for example, I always think about, like, one day when I make money, then I will want to go to, like, Australia or New Zealand and whatnot, right? And then just open up one fish and chip shack, that kind.
But then you need to make the business expand.
Then I feel like I'll build an Airbnb beside, I'll build hotel, then I'll build
But that's
a second
because
hotel.
that
Your
is the same
perspective
place
I'll build a
that you
website.
Yeah, but that's because you're seeing the world from your perspective as a Singaporean. But
Yeah.
maybe you live there long enough, right? Then it changes.
Correct, but
yeah.
you're gonna go there and then you're gonna make a decision on whether you want to stay there in the next 2 to 3 years, ma. Correct.
Yeah,
Then
yeah.
So if you don't change within the next 2 to 3 years, then you will just feel like this is a failed venture. I need to go back.
I feel that there's two sides of me, right? Like there's the part of me that really loves that chill, laid back lifestyle. Like
Where?
Like for example, I lived in Australia, right?
Right.
And it's really damn laid back. And they really love like their work-life balance, right? And then I always watch the camping videos, and then the ability to just drive your 4x4 out into like a
Right.
2-hour drive into like middle of nowhere and then camp and it's completely fine. That seems damn appealing. But then there's this other side of me also that is ambitious and is driven and want to build stuff and want to like do all these things, which I know I'm going to be stifled if I go to such a laid back place also.
No, you will be way ahead of your pack, eh?
No, but then it's not like,
Because everybody chill, man.
it's going to be hard to find like-minded people. You know what I mean? Or like, it's not part of the, like, if I want to be chill, I want to be chill, you know? So it's
No,
not
yeah,
like
I
I want to
Words to
I
live
don't
by.
think that is all extremes. I think you can find some middle ground. Like in my head also, I think, wow, I go to this country, then I'll live like just 45 minutes away from the main city, so I don't lose touch with
Yeah,
reality,
yeah.
like the trends and all that kind of shit, right? But then at the same time, I can enjoy the chillness of being like.
But you
the
sick.
ups.
Then suddenly you sick. But
I
you're
sick?
45
Why?
minutes away from the city. Or like your dog.
No, but I
I'm
reach.
sure there's a hospital outside, right?
Then you say,
No, I think a 45-minute drive to a hospital if you live in the suburb is fairly normal.
But that's why is people have a summer house. So they stay in the city. Then when I need a break, right, then I go to my cabin in the woods.
go to the Hamptons.
in the suburbs, it's not like them rabak suburbs one. Suburb. Wow, we don't have suburbs in Singapore, so we cannot say the word properly.
We only got subway.
You mean neighborhood? Like Chai Chi only.
Heartland.
Yeah lah, it's not that bad one. Sure got hospital one. Choose the one got hospital. Why hospital so
Yeah.
important? Yeah?
Like I always think of like realistically what's possible, right? So, like, do I have a job in Australia? Then will I be able to afford a house in Australia? Meaning, not I transplant to your dream Canada, right? I mean, right now with what you have, can you go to Canada?
Say your job,
the
right?
flights alone might wipe out a substantial amount of your like savings, for example, right? Then plus housing and all that stuff. So I was thinking, what if I could do today, like maybe by the end of the year, where can I go? What can I do? Right? I was thinking about somewhere nearby, lah, where the cost of living is low, and then the lifestyle is somewhere I enjoy. So someone like Bali, for example. So sorry, wow,
Bali.
That's quite fun.
Let's go with Bali. Let's go with Bali.
Yeah, I always think about it's nice to live there a few years.
Yeah.
And you go there, I don't expect myself to be richer there, then come back to Singapore, right? It's usually the other way around. Then when you're older there, then you look at, the curbs, the floor, and
Yeah.
You feel like
But you got a nice tan, you got a tribal tattoo.
you got a
know,
motorbike,
You dreadlocks already.
A moped.
you got 4 more
You
friends.
know the waves.
You know, and somehow I was just watching a video, right?
Every time the camera comes out, it's
Hang loose.
I was watching a video and the guy was breaking down like the cost of his living because he lives with all these digital nomads. They're all YouTubers and they live in a villa, right? His rent for 1 month is 500 USD. His food is about $2 a meal. And then his moped, right?
But he's not eating like naughty Newies lah, you know what I mean?
No. So he broke it down. It's like $2. If you want expensive, it's like $20 US. So that's the range. And every day he'll eat like the $2 or $3 meal. Then the motorbike rental is like $50 USD a month.
Yeah.
And his YouTube money that he makes from ads covers that.
Wait, this is what country?
Bali.
Ballet.
So like, say for example, he doesn't get a lot of views. Maybe he gets maximum 100,000 views. So he gets about maybe 3k USD in ad revenue. Covers everything. He doesn't need to be saving that. He's living the life. He just films, GoPro, and then after that, enjoy.
But do you feel though, enjoy? I feel like we are like living in Singapore, we are on the front end of Fiverr or like Upwork. You know? We need a freelancer, we just go and find a freelancer. But over there, you also have the opportunity, right? Like you can just look for simple things like, oh, maybe I just transcribe videos. Like now, ask you all, you want to transcribe Daily Ketchup, you feel like, it's like 30 minutes of this shit, yeah, like I'm overqualified, you know what I'm saying?
Nothing is beneath me.
Yeah.
But if you go to Bali and then you need to eat $2 food, right?
You are on the back end.
Yeah, you will go to Fiverr and put $5.
No, but
I
maybe
will.
you already get a job, international company, work remotely.
Yeah.
Your pay is international level kind.
No, but that's like
what?
that's too ideal.
Like,
Is it though?
It's the same as being rich in Singapore already, what?
So I have
Singapore's fun when you're
But
rich.
Singapore very expensive.
But it's
Like,
fun
I
when
have
you're
a
rich.
friend
Which
that
country
moved
is
to
not fun when
Malaysia.
you're rich?
Yeah.
No, but which country is exponentially more fun when you're rich? So for example, I would wager based on my very limited life experience, being very, very wealthy in New Zealand is not as shock as being very, very wealthy in Singapore.
True.
And being very, very wealthy in Thailand is a better experience than being very, very wealthy in Singapore.
I think Russia is a good country to
Depends
be
what
very,
kind of
very
fun.
wealthy in.
Russia.
Like no rules, right?
You just get
You just go bomb an entire country, is it?
What?
But if you offend somebody, they punch you in the face, sometimes you die.
No, but I'm rich.
So you can own a AK-47 and just
Exactly. I have a
threaten them.
bazooka that.
Molotov cocktails.
Then 2 people that help me carry it wherever I go.
Igor
Did you
and
see the
Igor.
the news coverage of like the early invasion where it's because usually we see war then we just associate with like the Middle East, you know. Or then like North Korea, you always see professional soldiers, even the North Korean soldiers, at least they wear uniform, right? Then the ones they let you film are like, you know, not malnourished. They look good lah. Like I never seen a malnourished North Korean lah, to be honest. Like that's what they tell you.
because
mah.
they're all hidden.
Sure, or that's what they tell us, then we just choose to believe because really whether we believe or not has no consequences, ma. But
He's defending North Korea.
Where we go on?
But when we look at the Ukraine war, it was a bit trippy, right? Because they look like Americans, Yeah, and the streets are like America, or like maybe a town in America.
Which
not-
is why
not
the
New York
Americans
City.
only campaign for them, what?
Sure, but then what was very trippy, right, was that we see all these people that look Hollywood, right? And then they all in a park and then they're making Molotov cocktail. You all see like the journalist was just like how are you doing? Then they just like got some people just
It's like the
going
women
down giving
are the
refreshments.
one doing it somehow.
I think I play too much Call of Duty already, so I'm desensitized.
Yeah, same.
But
Wait, so
Call of Duty,
video games
you
make
wearing
people more
soldier
violent?
outfit, what? You know what
Just
I mean?
No lah,
More
they have the
desensitized.
civilian type of
Oh, sorry.
have one. It's
Clearly, I
all
don't
urban
play.
ops kind of shit.
No Russian, and then they shoot everybody down at the airport.
Somehow nowadays the game's so realistic, so I wasn't really that.
Does that not trip you out? We play games now that is so real, right? Like sometimes you watch people sitting in front of TV, you don't know whether they're playing FIFA or watching a match, or watching UFC, or they're playing a game.
Yes, yeah.
But then when the metaverse come and then they say everybody will live their life inside, then you look at the metaverse game, then you're like, what the I'll be back at RuneScape.
I have a question that leads to a more screwed up question.
Oh,
So
Lovely.
like if we talk about like how all these video games are so realistic now, right? Does having like these video games right actually help us have less serial killers because they can just get off by like playing these video games instead? And then along the same lines, is child porn then actually good for preventing
Yes.
pedophiles from actually hurting real children?
but who shoot the child porn?
I think studies.
No, so
No, child porn can be anything though. Like it can be a kid bathing, right? They like that, then they just watch it. There's a whole series on like YouTube, right? That is like
Okay. But that one I feel like
it's screwed up, right? It's
I feel
screwed
like
up.
clearly there's a victim at stake, right?
Yeah.
Either too young to give consent or they are straight up getting raped, right? For
But
example.
they put their video on YouTube.
What if could you get behind?
Oh, get behind.
Could you get behind
in front of the can.
I know what he's gonna say.
18-year-old? 18-year-old porn star that really looks like she's 11.
Yes.
And
Can
then
get behind, can
the
get on top,
whole
can
plot, right, is her going, mommy, daddy, that kind of shit.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like a 11-year-old, but all shot as like by adults.
As though she's an 11-year-old.
Could you all get
I
behind
told
that?
you all about this before. That time when we
Yeah,
talked
yeah.
about this, like in Japan they have these brothels that's
Of
they are
adults.
specifically for girls that look very young,
Yeah.
look like children, dress up, maybe even behave like children to cater to that group, and that has helped to, if I'm not wrong, lessen the
Right. No, I feel like there's a line
pedophilia
drawn there
crimes.
because
Yeah, so child porn is good.
As a adult professional,
Yeah.
I've chosen to go into this line of duty. You come in, you pay the brothel that pays me directly, then you interact with me. But this one is internet for the content to be seen by the many.
I feel like it's fine, but the opposite is not. So I think like there's quite a few like controversial like TikTokers or like YouTubers or what, right, where they're like kids, but then they're like wearing bikini and all that, and their parents are actually giving consent to this, or in fact helping them, encouraging them to film such videos. And like, I mean, I cannot remember her name right now, but then
I know what
she's
you
famous for like faking her age, right? Like saying that she's like 2-3 years older than she actually is, but actually she's a 14-year-old in like bikini. Yes.
Who is she?
Jailbait, yeah.
Cannot remember her name.
No,
but
there's
Jailbait.com.
like the American beauty pageants for children.
Yes.
Walao eh, damn jialat sia.
They put so much makeup and like the stuff.
And
that
it's
they're
not
wearing.
even about looking good as a kid. They dress them like a 40-year-old.
But it's because the mom is living vicariously through the kid. They are all
Yeah.
through their former glory.
Okay, so let's go back to that. You can get behind child porn in that sense.
no, I can get behind the 18-year-old choosing to pretend to act like they're 11
With the whole plot.
which is all South Korean K-dramas.
Like the
All the 30-year-old actors go be 17-year-old
no, I thought where we were going with the video games is that we can just use CGI lah.
to do what?
So that we don't have to film anybody. If you are someone who suffers from pedophilia, then there is CGI child porn for them. So you don't have any actual victims.
If your whole life I tell you cannot watch real porn, you only can watch CGI porn, you happy?
No,
but the
we
CGI
just
porn
talked
looks
about
real.
how
It looks
realistic
real.
It looks like the UFC. You don't know where it's
Yeah lah. So right now with the
let's
quality,
say let's say the viewers are happy. It gets them off sufficiently, right?
The animator.
Would the world accept
I don't think
child
so.
porn in that sense? Really victimless. Let's say the developer is a pedophile though. Right? This is how you make realistic content, ma.
Yeah.
Right now. You get someone that has skin in the game, ma.
The animator needs to know what he likes also.
Would you all get behind that?
Isn't that better?
Would you all, if it comes out and people
What's a
attack,
synonym for get behind?
So right, so if say that was normalized and accessible to the public, right? Child porn.
no, but animated, fully animated.
So what if it's
Why
not
we always go back to pedophilia, guys?
Okay, so in the world of pornography, or after you all started discovering porn, right?
Haven't yet.
And you started exploring it, then prior to that, right, you all know about the concepts of like gangbangs and like come on the face or like anal and all this other stuff. If you have only because of exposure to pornography do you then learn about these things and then
Try it
potentially
in real
develop
life.
a fetish for it or want to try, then having more accessible like child pornography in general, right? Will that actually lead to an increase in the number of people that want to try?
Yeah, so that's my question. Like, does it actually become an outlet or does it end up enabling?
Wow, suddenly damn profound.
I just want to say it's an excellent point.
Yeah.
Because
which is
it
why
goes back to the conversation about video
Wait, you don't
games,
have to
right?
react. It's the first time that he has
It goes back to the conversation about video games, right? You kill people, then I feel people say it's an outlet, ma.
Yeah, but
actually
there
it's the
has
same thing,
already
ma.
been,
If you
no,
bring it
but
to
research
porn.
has already shown that like violence in video games does not correlate to
Yeah.
violence in reality.
But research is
Which is why it needs to be restricted and prescribed as medicinal child porn.
Medicinal child porn. I can get behind it.
That is the whole.
happy birthday, Singapore.
Oh my god. Okay, we're fine.
This is an NDP episode.
Wait, how did we get here?
How come we become talk about pedophilia?
Because we are very inclusive.
Denise lah.
This is an episode for National Day, guys. How did we get? Can we get to the root of this before we get
How
to
do
the
we
episode?
help
was
society?
It was about realistic. Then we talked about how you. Then after we talked about.
So the conclusion is Singaporeans are creative. We are coming up with
Yeah,
solutions.
guys, walao, if this is not a show of how we think outside the box.
I don't know what it is.
So kids, if you're watching, stay inside the box.
And stay in school.
Thank you for watching this episode of The Daily Ketchup and happy birthday, Singapore! Tell us down below why you love Singapore.
Day episode.
And the youth are the future of the country.
Woo!
Thanks for watching, guys. Happy
See you in the
birthday,
next
Singapore.
one.
Your should.
Wait,
your
the
should
light
tune-
behind you.
Your,
Okay. All clear.
clear.
All clear.
your should tune into.
Totally fail.